Imagine, if you will, you're a soldier in a battalion headquarters, and you have well over 8 or 12 different sources of data flowing into your screen, your laptop, whatever, and you have to deal with that. The data could be other FPV drones, 3 radars, for example, a camera tower, intermixed with your own drones for ISR. All this is considered a signal package. And right now, everyone's telling you something different about that airspace. It's your job to figure out what's a threat, what isn't a threat. Which one's a bird, for example? Which one's your own friendly drone? And how do you separate that from a kamikaze quadcopter? It's not easy. You're only human. You really actually can't do it well. And that's a snapshot of what the current battlefield looks like out there. Lots of data coming in, no fusion per se, no ways to really figure those out. But until now, Anduril Lattice software does just that. Let's listen to what Mr. Tyler has to say about Lattice's software, and I'll see you on the backside.
Lattice isn't a drone. It isn't a missile. It isn't a radar. Lattice is software, specifically what Anduril calls an open operating system for defense. Now I want to pause on that word open for a second, because it gets misused constantly in defense reporting. Open here doesn't mean open source. The Lattice source code is not public. Anduril's own license agreement explicitly forbids copying, modifying, reverse engineering, or decompiling the platform. The core software is proprietary, locked down, and stays that way. What's open is the architecture. Lattice publishes its application programming interfaces, its APIs, and a software development kit so other companies can build sensors, weapons, and apps that plug into Lattice. Same model as Apple's App Store. iOS itself is closed. The SDK that lets developers build iPhone apps is open. That's the distinction. Hold on to it. We're going to come back to why it matters at the end of this video. Think about the operating system on your phone. iOS or Android. You don't see it directly, but it's the layer that lets every app you have talk to the camera, talk to the GPS, talk to the network. Lattice does the same thing for the battlefield. Sensors, weapons, drones, command nodes, all the apps. Lattice is the operating system underneath. Anduril describes it as an AI-powered battle management platform that integrates thousands of sensors and effectors to accelerate complex kill chains at machine speed. Translated into plain English, it pulls in data from everything you have on the field, uses artificial intelligence to figure out what matters, and pushes decisions, or actions, back out faster than a human ever could on their own. And the user interface is deliberately simple. Laptop, desktop, web browser, even VR headset. The complexity is hidden underneath. The operator just sees a clean picture of the battle space and a short list of decisions they actually need to make. 5 years ago, the threat picture for ground forces was missiles, aircraft, maybe a few reconnaissance drones. Today it's thousands of small, cheap, autonomous platforms, some flown by a teenager in a basement 2,000 miles away. And the US Army knows it. In November 2025, the Army selected Lattice as the fire control platform for its Integrated Battle Command System Maneuver, IBCS-M, the program meant to defend ground forces against unmanned aircraft. That selection is bigger than it sounds. The Army didn't pick Lattice to be a feature. They picked it to be the backbone. The command, control, and integration layer for an entire family of counter-drone systems. One operator, multiple threats, automated fire control, compressed time from detection to defeat. That's what they bought. And before that decision, Anduril ran Lattice through a 7-day trial at Yuma Proving Ground in Arizona. During that trial, the system integrated a previously undisclosed sensor and effector within hours and then executed live-fire intercepts. 4 engagements, 4 kills. Hours, not months. That's the part that should make you sit up. Traditional sensor integration in the military is a high-touch process, multiple field support reps, sometimes a year or more. Lattice does it in an afternoon. Here's the workflow. Sensors detect something, a radar return, a camera image, an acoustic signature. That data goes into Lattice. Lattice fuses it, meaning if 3 sensors are looking at the same drone, the system knows it's one drone, not 3 separate tracks. Then the AI prioritizes. Is this a real threat? How fast is it moving? Where is it heading? What's the best weapon to use against it, if any? The system runs through the decision tree in milliseconds and presents the operator with a recommendation. The operator stays in the loop. Anduril is clear about that. Lattice doesn't pull the trigger autonomously, a human approves the engagement. But the human is no longer trying to do all the math themselves. And here's where the open architecture piece I mentioned earlier becomes real. Any sensor manufacturer or weapons manufacturer can build their hardware to talk to Lattice without going through Anduril for approval first. They use the SDK, they follow the API documentation, and they're in. During a CENTCOM exercise called Desert Guardian 1.0, more than 10 sensor teams, not Anduril employees, regular operators in uniform, used the API documentation to integrate their own sensors into Lattice on their own. Some did it in hours. Compare that to the months and the contractor support that used to be required. That's the architectural shift. Lattice isn't built to be a closed system. It's built to be a platform other things plug into. Which sounds great, and mostly is, but it raises a question we need to talk about, and that's where most defense channels stop short. The active user list is wide and getting wider. U.S. Marine Corps, U.S. Air Force, U.S. Army, UK Royal Marines. The Polish military fields it through their version of IBCS. And in 2026, the U.S. Army's Patriot missile battalion based in Baumholder, Germany became the first operational Patriot unit to field the integrated battle command system running on Lattice. Think about that for a second. Patriot missile crews, the people who shoot down ballistic missiles and aircraft, are now using the same software that's designed to manage swarms of small drones. Same operating system. Different scale of threat. That's the point of an operating system. It scales. Lattice is also the brain inside other Anduril products. Their Ghost X reconnaissance drone runs on Lattice. The Soldier-Borne Mission Command program uses it. It's threaded through the entire Anduril product line and increasingly through the broader U.S. defense architecture. And in late 2024, the Pentagon's Chief Digital and AI Office signed a $100 million, 3-year contract specifically to expand what they call Lattice Mesh, the data sharing layer of the platform, and to open it to third-party developers without Anduril acting as the gatekeeper. That's a deliberate decentralization move at the highest level of DoD. Now, here's where I want to spend a couple of minutes that most defense channels won't. Because when you build an operating system for warfare and you deliberately open up the developer ecosystem, you create a new security problem. Not a small one. Let me say it clearly first. Lattice is not open source. The core code is proprietary. Anduril's license agreement explicitly forbids reverse engineering or modifying the platform. So the kind of risk people sometimes worry about with open source, anyone in the world reading the source code looking for vulnerabilities, that's not what we're talking about here. What we are talking about is something different and arguably harder to manage. It's called attack surface expansion. And it works like this. When the system is closed, when one contractor builds the whole stack and only their employees touch it, the number of paths an adversary can use to attack it is limited. You secure the core, you secure the perimeter, you are mostly done. When the system is open architecture, when dozens or eventually hundreds of third-party developers are writing code that plugs into your battle management platform, every single one of those plugins is a potential way in. A sloppy developer at a small startup with a sensor integration could become the weakest link in the chain. You're only as secure as the worst code anyone has written for your ecosystem. Second issue. The API itself is documented and publicly available to anyone who registers as a developer. That's the whole point. It's how a small company gets their sensor onto the battlefield without a 5-year procurement cycle. But it also means a foreign intelligence service can sign up, read the same documentation, and study how Lattice handles data, how it routes traffic, and where the seams are. They don't have to break in to see the architecture. The architecture is published. Third issue. Supply chain risk. When you let third parties write apps for your platform, you have to validate every one of those apps. Otherwise, you're running unvetted code inside the kill chain. Anduril has stated that they have validation processes in place, and DoD has its own software accreditation requirements layered on top, but the volume problem is real. The more partners you add, the harder validation gets. Fourth issue. Information disclosure through the SDK itself. The sample applications, the GitHub repositories, the documentation, they all reveal architectural details that traditional classified military software would never expose. That's a trade-off Anduril and DoD have made deliberately, betting that the speed and flexibility you gain is worth more than the operational security you lose. It might be the right bet, but it is a bet. Now, to be fair to Anduril, they're not naive about this. Their stated approach is military-grade security underneath the open developer experience, with authentication, encryption, role-based access control, and what they describe as a sandbox developer environment that isolates third-party code from the operational core. The Defense Department has its own approval and accreditation processes layered on top before anything actually deploys. So the open door isn't standing wide open. It's monitored, gated, and vetted. The honest answer is that this model is too new to know how it holds up under sustained adversarial pressure. The first major Lattice-related security incident hasn't happened yet, or if it has, it hasn't been publicly disclosed. We are watching a very large bet get placed on the idea that open architecture, properly governed, is more secure in practice than closed architecture, because the open one can adapt faster to threats it didn't anticipate. That's the theory. The next several years will tell us if it holds. Here's why Lattice matters beyond the technology itself. For the last 40 years, U.S. defense procurement has been driven by hardware. Better tanks, faster fighters, stealthier submarines. Hardware against hardware. That model is breaking down. The threats now are cheap, distributed, and software-driven. You can't outbuild them with more expensive hardware. The math doesn't work. A $6,000 drone shouldn't cost a $4 million missile to kill, but it does, because our hardware-first model leaves no other choice. The way out is software. Faster integration of cheaper effectors. Smarter use of sensors you already have. Decisions made at machine speed, with humans supervising rather than micromanaging. That's the bet Lattice represents, and the U.S. Army just placed a very large bet on it. We're watching the operating system layer of warfare get written in real time. The companies that own that layer in 2030 will shape how every other piece of the defense industry plugs in. And whether the open architecture model survives contact with a serious nation-state adversary will define the next 20 years of military software. Anduril, with Lattice, is making a hard play to be one of those companies.
Lattice doesn't fly. It doesn't shoot. It doesn't see anything. But every drone, every radar, every weapon plugged into it gets faster, smarter, and more lethal because of it. Lattice is the brain of the modern battlefield, and it's already operational. The question that's going to define the next decade isn't whether it works. It's whether the open architecture that makes it work this fast can stay ahead of people trying to break it. I'm Dr. Peter Brusso, and I'll see you on the web.
If this data card was useful, hit like. It helps other defense professionals find the channel. Subscribe for new platform cards every week. This is the Drone Bible.